Hi everyone. In this video, we are going to see the rights of mentally ill patients or the rights of psychiatric patients. So, when a patient or when a client is admitted to a psychiatric setup or a psychiatric hospital, the person will be deprived of freedom to leave the hospital. That means the person has to stay at the hospital for a long time for his treatment. And most of the hospital, they may be treating that psychiatric patient in an ill way or in an ill treatment will be there in the hospital. But here we will be seeing what are the human rights or what are the rights of a psychiatric patient legally he is getting. So, these particular rights every nurses or every psychiatric nurses or every health personnel those who are working in the psychiatric setup should be following these human rights, and it may be given by the state law, okay, that particular state or from the country they had given certain laws or the rules and regulation which is related to the human rights of or the rights of a psychiatric patient. So, now we will see one by one what are the various rights a psychiatric patient will be having legally. So, come to the first one, the person or the psychiatric client or the patient will be having the right to wear his own clothes. So, most of the psychiatric setup they won't allow to wear patient's own dresses. So, they may be forcefully or they may be allowing the person to wear their own dresses, the hospital dresses, but still the patient will be having a right to wear his own dresses, and he can use his own belongings also like toilet articles or soap or whatever things, the patient his own belongings the person can utilize. That also legally it will give to the patient, allows the patient. Then the next one, the person can keep some amount of money, or if necessary he can go for his own expenditure by that particular money. That also legally he is having the right. Then the next one, he can have or the patient is having a right to have his own storage spaces, and the person can utilize his own storage spaces also. And another important issue, most of the hospital they may not allow the patient to communicate with his relatives, but legally or the psychiatric patient having a right to communicate with his relatives through telephone or through letters or through email, that also he is having a right. Then the next one, the patient, if he is during that time he is not an insanity or he doesn't have any that much issue, he can have a right to get marriage also. And the next one, we can see that the patient is having so much property. In that case, if he want, he can allow someone to manage his property, or he can execute his own will. He can prepare certain will to transfer his property. But the thing is, legally if you see, if he is during that time, during a transfer of property, he is an insane person, that time it is not valid, his signature may not be valid. But if he doesn't have that much problem, he is able to execute the will, means with the help of two witnesses, there should be two witnesses should be there, and he can transfer his properties. And come to the another important issue or important right we will see, if the patient is having what we can say he doesn't want to go for electroconvulsive treatment. So, he is having a right to refuse the electroconvulsive treatment or any other type of treatment he can refuse. But we should we should see that if it is an emergency situation, we cannot allow that one, except emergency situation or except the patient as per the law, because some of the psychiatric patient may be admitted through the court. In that case, we have to see as per the law, then only we can allow the patient to refuse the treatment. Otherwise, compulsorily we have to give the treatment to the patient also. And he is having a right to get informed consent before doing any type of procedure. It may be electroconvulsive therapy or any type of therapy, we have to get the informed consent from the patient. Then the next one, if he is a major or a voluntary patient, he is having a right to voluntarily admission and voluntarily getting discharged from the hospital. And all that matters related to the patient, his records or the treatment aspect, the confidentiality, that is another important thing. He is having a right to get confidentiality also. So, these are all the major rights of a psychiatric patient. Hope you are all understood regarding this one, and thank you for watching this video.